Hey everybody, I'm back again, and I just wanted to throw another video at you guys and girls out there. So people have been asking me, how did I become a personal support worker? The things that led me to it, and what's the most difficult situations I've dealt with. Um, this will probably answer a little bit of those. So how I became a personal support worker. Going back to 2008, I remember after being laid off from my last laboring job, and after high school in 2000, I kind of drifted into a lot of laboring jobs over the years. I tried to go back to school in 05, 06 to become an electrician, but since I didn't have the mathematics skills or those type of technical skills, I really didn't find myself completing an apprenticeship and becoming an electrician. So I went back into laboring jobs, did a little bit of automotive, did a little bit of steel. And you want to know something? After being laid off from my last job in '08 because of the recession we had here in Canada and the United States, obviously, because it was an American run company, obviously, you know how those guys work. I decided it's time to go back to school. Now, because I had, I qualified for some excuse my language, government assistance. I decided to, take that opportunity and apply, and I did get a grant through EI, and I went back to school, became a personal support worker. It was a tough year that year too. I remember 2008 was a very tough year for me. I lived off, you know, pretty much very little every couple weeks from EI. And I was going to school, was working hard. Unfortunately, I couldn't take a job because of the stipulations of the agreement I entered into. And you want to know something? I've never looked back on my decision to become a personal support worker, because it is very rewarding and it has gotten me through some very tough times in life. It's actually helped me learn what kind of person I am and what kind of caring person I am deep down inside. When I first became a personal support worker, I was hired by my home care company I still work for. Actually, I work for two home care companies. The second one I applied to in 2011 and got that job after the second time applying to them, because a friend I worked with at my current job was working for them. They said, apply, you're going to get the job. And as a personal support worker, we always usually have two jobs unless we have a spouse or a common law that is working as well. It's a very part-time job, and it's like a teeter-totter, especially in home care, because you can be up and down, up and down. So you always have to keep two jobs, whether you're working in a long-term care position or you're working in two home care positions, or even if you're working in a hospital job, you have to try to maintain a balance with hours, because it's always going to be like that. um you know some of the situations I've dealt with over the years, revolve around a whole bunch of situations. I've dealt, like I said, with people with dementia and Alzheimer's, people who are end of life palliative, people who have young children with autism, dealing with very difficult clients. You know what? These are all situations where I've had challenges and I've overcome them, and I've learned from those situations, and I will always apply them to new situations coming up. Quickly, I'll talk about three very difficult situations I've always had to deal with as a personal support worker. Dealing with people with dementia and Alzheimer's is very hard because you have to consistently reinforce them and reinforce yourself. And it can be quite difficult dealing with people who forget and who, have certain complacencies. And some people with Alzheimer's, they will forget what time of day it is. They obviously sometimes won't remember who you are. So it can be very difficult. And that's one of the probably greatest challenges that I've dealt with, is people with memory problems. Another great challenge I have dealt with is people who are end of life and dying, because they're going to be gone when you're dealing with them, and that's very hard on you, especially if you grow very close to them and you work with them for a very long time and they've been your clients. It's very hard to see them in that position. And when you get the word that they've passed away, it can take a toll on you. And I have had a couple clients recently that I've had to take a few days off because I just just the situation really sucked the way it happened, you know what I mean? And, I feel really bad for their families, for their loss, and, I feel really bad myself, but, this is the way the job is, and this is the way life is, you know what I mean? We're born, we grow, we live, and we die, and it's the circle of life. So, those are always hard situations for me. And also, I also very much wanted to say, I've had the great opportunity of working with parents who have kids with autism, and I understand you guys, and you guys are the greatest, and you guys put up with a lot in dealing with those children, and you love them very much, and I'm really grateful for the people I've worked with over the years. Thank you so much for letting me in your home, in all respects, including people with autism, because I've seen firsthand how parents deal with their children with autism on a daily basis, and you know what, depending on their child's personality, or just like the level that they're at, I can see how very hard it is sometimes on families, and how they have to come together as a family unit in order to deal with the situation. So these are some of the experiences that I've had over the years. Maybe I'll talk about another time about direct situations, like kind of like a one-on-one, about that sort of thing. But my passion for this job hasn't changed. I hopefully will be doing this a long time, as long as my back keeps up. And that's another thing in this job too. You have to watch your back, because you can easily hurt yourself. And I've known personal support workers who've been hurt over the years. Either they've had a back injury, or they've injured their hand or their leg, you know what I mean? Or, have been in an automobile accident even. And you want to know something, you just don't know sometimes. But, everyone tries to stay as safe as they can. And, we can only do our best. And I will never look back at regretting anything about becoming a personal support worker, because I know at the end of the day, when I go out and I help my clients, and I've gone to see each and every one of them, and I've helped them get on with their day and help them do the things that they need to do, I feel better when I go home at night, because I know I've helped them out, and I've gone to see them. And sometimes when we go to see clients, they might not be seeing another person until the next day, or whenever their next visit is. So sometimes they're waiting around for you the entire day, or they're just waiting for you to come in general, because they probably had another visit and they're waiting for their daytime or nighttime person to come. So it just all depends. So remember, we're all needed out there in the community, personal support workers. And like, it's always a challenge, you know what I mean? No matter who you're working with and what kind of condition they have, no matter if they're old, young, or they just have, like they have a temporary condition where you're just coming in to help out. So anyways, guys, that's why I became a personal support worker, is to give back to the community, and to give back to people that I absolutely care about, because deep down inside, I'm a very caring person, and I love working with people. And I hope to continue working with people like that for a very long time. And with the baby boomers coming up, like our own parents, like even my own parents, it's going to be a lot more tougher for families coming soon. So I think that's one of the greatest challenges ahead, is dealing with the baby boomer generation that's coming up, because there's going to be a lot of people who need care, and there's just not enough personal support workers out there right now. So, and not only that, the government needs to step up and do something about this, because we're facing a crisis soon. We don't even have enough long-term care spots here in Canada, for especially here in Ontario, for a lot of people, you know what I mean? And we're doing the best that we can. So anyways, with that said, if anybody sees this video, comment, send me any kind of link below you want, just comments, questions, anything, and if anyone's thinking about becoming a personal support worker, like I said, I've never regretted it. And if you want to make that choice and jump into this, by all means. But just remember, it is a lot of work. And at the end of the day, it is very rewarding, because there's a lot of help out there, and people do need it. So anyways, talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.